What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to 2025. So that's pretty awesome. New year. Hope everybody had a great holiday. Hope everybody got what they wanted for Christmas. And here's to a phenomenal new year. Phenomenal new goals, new path for everybody. And speaking of new paths, we have a new path on this channel. So sitting next to me here is my 1997 Mitsubishi Eclipse GST. And what the plan is for this coming year, 2025, is we're going to build this fellow into a 500 wheel horsepower machine. So for those of you that don't know, the 2G Eclipse here, the GST model, is their turbocharged front wheel drive powered with the 4G63 motor in it. The GSX is the all-wheel drive. I opted for the front wheel drive. Backstory on these cars come with 210 base horsepower from the factory, and then about 170 to 180 wheel horsepower from the factory. So we're going to bump that we'll say 175, but we're going to bump that 170, 180 up to 500 horses, and we're going to do it throughout this year. We're not going to do a crunch build like you see a lot of channels do for SEMA. We're not going to do like a reality show or get this done in 2 weeks. We're going to take our time. We're going to enjoy the build. I'm going to create a playlist so that you guys can see everything. And the hope and prayer is to also get this debuted at the shootout this year. I want you guys to go along with me on this journey. So this is going to be episode 1 of however many videos it takes to make this a proper build. In this video, on the start and the journey, the two things we're going to do, we're going to replace these headlights, because as you can see, this headlight isn't really attached to anything, and when you're making that kind of power, you need to make sure everything is buttoned up so that nothing goes flying off and hurts anybody, hurts the car, causes you to wreck. We need to make sure this is going to be a safe, reliable car for everybody to enjoy. That's enough of me talking. Let's go ahead, get the hood popped open, and start getting these headlights swapped out. All right, so like I said, we're going to change out these headlights. One of the reasons is because this one here, as you can see, is broken right there. So there's literally nothing holding it in. I can just pull it right out. So we're going to get those replaced. I was able to find some OEM headlights, so we're going to swap out these cheap knockoffs for the OEMs. But also, if you are a DSM guy, you know about this. So all but 2 bolts are sheared off. And for those that know DSMs, you know that these are grade 4 terrible junk hardware that they use to cut costs. So we're going to get the 3 holes drilled out and replace this with all brand new hardware. Same thing for the headlights on both the passenger and the driver's side. We're going to replace the hardware on that as well, so that we don't have to worry about any of this breaking. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my tools. We're going to work on getting that bolt and that bolt taken off. Then we're going to drill those 3 holes out. We're going to work on the front bumper first. Then we're going to move to the headlights, that one, and then that one. Hey, before we go any further, I want to say thank you for making it this far in the video. And also, I want to give a huge shout out to the sponsors that are actually helping me sponsor this build. And those companies are Pro Sport Gauges, Brom Racing, Mishimoto Racing, Power Stop, and Chemical Guys. If it wasn't for you guys, this build wouldn't start and this build wouldn't be going true. So thank you guys for taking a chance on this build. If you guys watching this haven't get a chance to go out and check out all of their websites for any of your automotive supplies, and hopefully as this build goes on and progresses, we'll add more to this list. But let's get back to the video. All right, I lied, because this bolt ended up shearing off when I was trying to remove the bolts that were in the bumper. So that one came out perfect. That one we started drilling out. That one we haven't touched yet. This one decided to shear off, and then this one we got drilled out. The problem is when I drilled this one out, my drill bit that I was using broke. So now I get to go to the store and get one of those. So in the meantime, we're going to say screw the bumper, and we're going to move on to this taillight and this taillight. Typically with your DSMs, you'll have this bolt here, you'll have a bolt right back there. Actually, there's 2 bolts back there, and then there's one underneath the bumper. When talking to the original owner, or the guy that I bought it off of, he did not put the bottom one on, as you can see. So we just have to pop this one off, And I think he said he only has one in that corner that he didn't even put the second bottom one on. This one doesn't have any on because I can just pull it out. So that's what we're going to work on next. We're going to start with this, and then we'll start on the passenger side, then we'll move over to the driver's side. Alright, let me show you something with this. So this was the aftermarket. He put, it looks like, HIDs in there. So I'm hoping that I don't have to put that back in. I think I have some spare normal headlights, because then we're going to upgrade to LEDs, because I'm not dealing with all that shit. But also, I have this red wire that's now hardwired into the bottom of the headlight and then back into the wiring harness. When I look over at the OEM, that's not there. So that's some type of aftermarket shit that they did. Now I get to figure out how to get this removed safely so that all my headlights still work, so I can get this out to get that new one put on. So just wanted to take the time to show you what kind of shit I'm dealing with. These cheap aftermarket headlights, I don't even know what brand they are, but they're terrible. I hate HIDs, stupid, but we're going to work on getting that wire done and hopefully get this thing out. So this is the factory unit. This needs to plug into a headlight, which I don't have because this one came with a pre-installed HID. The HID's blown. I tried putting the controller box and try it. You've probably seen me try it already, and it's not working. So we're going to scrap all of this. We're going to go on to Amazon and order some new LED headlights. Hopefully that'll plug into it. I'm not an electrician, so I hope to God that that's all I got to do to get all this to work. The next thing I got to do is figure out why that side marker light is flickering now. If it has anything to do with that red wire right there that I cut. Probably does, but we'll figure that out. But for now, we're just going to take this headlight. We're just going to get it installed into there, put the new hardware in it so that I actually have a headlight and not a hole. And then move on to the driver's side, which I'm 100% assuming that I'm just going to have to buy new headlight for that one too. Luckily, the corner light was working. I didn't check the high beam, so I'll have to check that later. But we'll at least get this in, get it mounted up in there so that it's stabilized in there. And then we're just not going to run the car at night. In all honesty, I don't know when the next time I'm going to run it, because I have to drill all of those out still, and I hate drilling out busted bolts. So let's get that put in there and we'll go from there. Alright, we got the headlight put on there, and then I don't have it bolted in yet because I want to go ahead and show you what we're using. I bought this set from JD Customs, so I got the 5 bolts for the bumper, and then I got 4 bolts, 2 for each headlight, and they're titanium, so they shouldn't rust, and they'll look pretty cool. So again, just wanted to show you the bolts we got on there. We're going to go ahead and get those installed onto the headlight and then start working on the next headlight. It is on, and there's that titanium hardware. I really like it. I think we're going to switch all the hardware bolts under this hood to that, just because there's a lot of rusted out bolts. We got the one bolt on there. I did not put the second one on yet, just because I have to take the headlight out to put the new light bulb in, but at least for now it's in. Looks a lot better than what was in there. It's a lot safer and sturdier. So let's go ahead and move over to the driver's side and get this one done. And boom, the driver's side's in. Driver's side, 10 out of 10 easier than the passenger side. Screw that passenger side. Again, we got that new titanium bolt put in there. Yeah, we're going to redo all them bolts. That bolt looks nice, and it just makes the other ones just look even uglier. But same issues with the other one. Had to cut the wire. Doesn't have a headlight. Made sure everything else worked. It does. So passenger side's in. I really like the factory headlight assembly more than an aftermarket anyway, so I think it's going to make the Eclipse look better. But now that we got what we can on the headlights done, and I got to run to the store still to get the drill bit for the bumper, many hours later, we finally got those pieces drilled out, re-tapped, and we got those JB custom titaniums in there. I went with the Allen head or hex key design instead of the normal 12 or 10 millimeter bolts. I think they give it a nice look. I do need to add some washers because the holes are bigger than the heads on these bolts, but I think it makes it look really well. And again, there's the one that was on the headlights. I'll put a link in the description if you guys are interested in these bolts, I think these JB Customs are pretty nice, and the price wasn't too bad, especially when you look at some of the other places that sell these titanium hardware.